Hello, everybody.
How
are you doing today?
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We are the Common Sense Sisters.
Mhm.
My name is Ella.
My name is Yo-Yo.
Yes.
We just want to check if we're hearing ourselves.
If anyone is online, let us know if you can hear us. So we're not talking to ourselves. I believe that.
I think you can hear us.
The thing is unmuted.
Yep.
Anyways, today is Family Day right here in Ontario, Canada, in Toronto. And we thought to ourselves, what better way to celebrate Family Day than with our virtual YouTube family?
The Common Sense Squad.
Although, to the Common Sense Squad, we greet you all specially. Thank you for being here. We know that this topic is quite heavy, seeing that it's Family Day.
Of course.
But sometimes at the dinner or lunch table, you have to address some intricate family situations.
Heavy topics.
The person who you think is your mom may not be. Or your dad may not be. Maybe you don't like your siblings. Maybe they're not really your siblings.
That's true.
So today's live is definitely about the topic which is already on your screen.
Yep.
You see, after 2 failed DNA tests, a woman's husband found out that their 3-month-old baby does not belong to the man.
It looks like there's someone in the studio.
There's someone here watching us.
Hi, Junior.
Oh my God. It's been a while.
Yeah, we're doing good. How are you? Welcome.
So we're going to be having 2 live shows today. This is the first one, of course, like we usually do on our Saturday live shows. And after this one, after we've ironed out the situation, then we'll have the next show, bringing up the next thing. And as usual that we have, your obligations is to like the video, share the video, subscribe, be open-minded, respectful, stay on topic, don't use bad words, and especially share the video so others can come and join in this conversation. If you're new to the squad, you can check out the About page to know more things about the Common Sense Sisters and the squad. You can visit our community page as well to get acquainted with upcoming information and stay up to date with the platform. And then you can check out our playlist for over 300 videos that we have to binge watch all of them and watch the ads. And finally, you can follow us on different social media platforms. Yes. Yeah.
It's
good to know that you're doing well.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this topic of today, you see, the Common Sense Sisters, we see things.
Yeah.
We had tackled the topic about issue about DNA and our own opinion. And the Common Sense Squad, I think it was a few weeks ago, we did a live video about a live video about that, and then we heard from the Common Sense Squads, the debate and their opinions, diverse and varied opinions. Check out that video in the playlist, in the YouTube live playlist.
Hey,
go that's what I'm saying. So we told the Common Sense Squad last week, Saturday, few days ago, Saturday, that we're going to be having a heated live today because it's a public holiday and it's Family Day. This topic, real life situation. We're going to start reading the story and we're going to analyze it.
I'm aspiring so much.
Oh, because there's a lot going on. So we gotta go in.
Okay, we're not going to wait for the late comers anymore.
No.
Waiting for them. We're always on time.
Today is Monday.
Today is Monday. Yeah. Oh my Tunde.
Hey, Tunde.
All right. So we're gonna go straight to the point, like how we do. We're gonna talk about different stories today. We'll start with the first story, analyze it, push it to the second story, analyze it, and then we'll go forth from there
for the debate. Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's go. Story number 1
from Desert Kings.
How can a husband be AA and wife is AS and baby is SS? This is genotype. Paternity fraud looming. Husband is AA, wife is AS. 3 months after they had their first child, they found out their daughter was SS. At first, it appeared like a joke, a very bad one. Medically, that isn't or shouldn't be possible. They conducted the genotype tests in 4 medical labs, and the results came out the same. Husband and wife decided to have their genotype test again. Results were the same. Then it became clear what was happening. Husband ain't the father of the baby. He secretly had a DNA test and it was confirmed he didn't father the baby. Amidst the confusion, he asked his wife if he fathered the baby. Wife wouldn't confess. She insisted he fathered the baby. It's just obvious that whoever fathered the baby is AS. which resulted in the baby's SS. They went for a paternity test and it was glaring husband ain't the baby's dad. This is the second paternity test too. Wife still insisting she didn't get impregnated externally. She went ahead to do another DNA and the result was the same. This is the third DNA. Wife became a shadow of herself. Husband got crazy. Their home became a once upon a time hell. Wife kept researching how possible it was that her husband didn't father her baby and the baby's genotype is SS. Then she told a friend of the whole matter. Her friend just felt she's using females' antics. Take responsibility, I guess that's what the person said. She was told. She kept swearing and swearing. Her friend told me of the whole drama, thinking about how it would be possible medically. It was impossible for AA to birth SS. Coupled with DNA tests, it was glaring. But wife claiming innocence and answering on her life was a whole different thing. I thought of what could have been. Then I arrived at the conclusion, if wife is innocent, then she is not the mother of the child. I immediately called my friend and I've found a possible solution, MNA, in bracket maternity test, to the rescue. They went for an MNA and the test revealed that she is not the mother of the baby. Babies were changed at birth. Long story cut short, they involved the police and investigations were carried out. Multiple tests done here and there, here and there. They got their own baby back, AS. They returned the supposed baby. Hospital was sued for negligence and trauma. Wife is so displeased. Her husband didn't trust her. They settled and made up. They just had their second baby, a boy. Husband stayed with wife in labor room and monitored everything. Once beaten, twice shy. At times, so-called paternity fraud is change of babies at hospitals, called from whatever the wall.
Are you there? Story number one.
Story number one.
This,
Yes.
facts. People are saying that. This is the hairstyle we've been carrying.
For the past couple of weeks.
Biologically and medically impossible.
Very, very, very impossible. But you all see the end of this story.
Analysis number one.
When we were screaming, I've been screaming this for the past 2 years.
Few weeks.
Just on our channel for a few weeks. That whenever a child is born, both parents, father and mother, should carry out DNA tests on the child
and the genetic profile
to ascertain that the pikin is through their own. Remove sentiment aside. It's not about trust in relationship, this and that.
It's about the child.
It's about the child.
This is a clear case. This story just came out last week. This is a clear case of the child, how it's affecting the child, and you see, in essence, it's affecting the marriage. But one thing I could draw from this is the fact that when they say a problem shared is half solved, I want to say a problem shared with a reasonable, commonsensical human being is definitely half solved. Because this guy talking about, he said his friend of the woman that told him about the story, you know, and that's why he said, oh, wow, if the father is not, if DNA says it's not, then the woman is saying that you better this child, and he says, okay, then boom, let's talk about the hospital. Then let's do MNA test. That is maternal DNA test, and they did it, and it came through that the woman did not birth the child. So obviously, who is at fault here?
The hospital.
And they did the right thing. They conducted the investigation. They involved the police. They sued the hospital. See what I'm talking about?
Got their baby back.
And now, once bitten, twice shy. The man took to the advice now. They got pregnant the second time. And the fact the man was in the labor room to
monitor everything. So maybe that there is no excuse me,
exchange. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When you remove sentiment out of your analysis of any situation, you have clarity of mind. Of mind. So this time they decided to be proactive.
Yes. Yes. I'm very, very proud of the couple institution. I can imagine if they just went and opted for, let's say, divorce
and all that stuff. Yeah. Or the woman refused to share the story with her friend.
You know, all that stuff.
When you speak up, and then now we are all learning. We are all learning. It doesn't. I mean, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah. Crypto Magic, welcome. America visa review. A lot of Nigerians inviting parents came to find out their father.
Yes.
Crypto magic. Are you foreseeing into the other part of the story of this life?
Yeah, this crypto magic is very.
Are you trying to read
very
our
proactive
minds?
in reasoning?
Are you reading? Are you trying to sample us, read our minds?
Yes. I mean, the name is crypto magic. This crypto magic. Good one.
So should we go to the next story?
Yeah, we should go to the next story.
So everyone just coming in, thank you for coming. Welcome. Please remember to like the video and also share so other people can join us. Oh yeah. Straight to story number 2. Yo, you'll be the one to read.
Oh, this one is a sad story. Now, this is a photo of a man who beat his 16-year-old daughter to death in Adamawa State in Nigeria, right? After the ex-wife revealed that he wasn't the biological father of this girl. So the state command police at Adamawa, they've arrested the man identified as Mohammed, right? And he's a 42-year-old man and a father of 9. You see? You know? He was arrested after the daughter's corpse was discovered in the bush in Belwa Community Local Government area of that state. Now, according to the report, it began when the suspect was informed by his first wife, that's the ex-wife, that the deceased was not his biological daughter, as she was pregnant for another man when they got married. Man, are you there?
Oh, yo!
Pinning of pregnancy.
He pinned the pregnancy on
the man. It was gathered that since then, Mohammed lost his fatherly love and affection for Aisha. Aisha happens to be the deceased
16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, subsequently divorced the mother, leaving behind the deceased with his second wife. On Saturday, October 9, 2021, Mohammed from that particular region took the victim to the bush on pretense that they were going to buy fish for the family. And then Mohammed and his friend, they mercilessly descended on the girl, and of course they killed her, sadly. While on their way back, Mohammed was advised by his friend to report to the police that his daughter was missing. He went and lodged a complaint at Mayor Belwa divisional headquarters that Aisha was missing. Now, the police, alongside family members, they searched nook and crannies of the community, but all effort failed to find Aisha. It was gathered that at some point, the police began to suspect that Mohammed, could be responsible for the missing girl. He was interrogated, but then they failed to convince the police. He was later brought to the criminal CID of the state headquarters, and further investigation were done where he confessed to the crime. In the course of the investigation, the operatives of the department were able to identify the scene of the crime where they recovered the corpse, and then spokesman for the DSP, all who confirmed the incident, said that the suspect is being, investigated. This is a very sad story. This is a very sad story.
Extreme.
This
an
is a
extreme
very sad story.
situation of what can happen with this whole deal. How
paternity fraud.
This thing is very, very sensitive.
It is.
And sometimes I think people just look at it just from an angle of the person trusts me, the person doesn't trust me.
Yeah. Perceptive victim blaming or something.
This is in an extreme case where this man found out that the
daughter, the 16-year-old daughter, just like the story we did for the other one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you go kill the child. What does the child have to do with the sins of the mother?
And he also said in the report that automatically he lost love and affection for the daughter. How do you just automatically lose love and affection for somebody that you've loved affectionately as your child for 16 years? How do you just go ahead and just do that?
I don't know.
Woo, that's a switch. But I'm glad that he was arrested.
Tortured her to death. Yeah. And they always take the girls to the bush. It's like the one we did on, was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Where he took his twin daughters as well to the bush. So
it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. And I think for me, I always tell people that if anything that has to do with objectivity, you have to remove your lens of
you have to remove yourself away from the box.
Yeah. And the focus should be on the results. Yes, the focus should be on the results.
Yes.
You have to be like solution focused, and the focus should be on the result and how to solve this problem. After that, then you can decide to be amending your ways. Just like the first story where now the marriage is better and all that. Follow the science. Follow the science. Follow the science.
I can imagine if Mohammed, well, I don't know about Mohammed's educational background, frankly.
Yeah, he's father of 9.
But you're birthing 9 children. It could also be possible that maybe it's not only Aisha that is not his. Maybe his second wife that has children. Also, the children are not his. That is also important. And the 9 children are not his. Had they been now, if we have found out, we go kill of the 9 children.
It's possible. I mean, it's such a mindset.
It's such a mindset. So you can imagine if, what if he had him and his wife had opted to immediately after a child was born,
they do the
they
test.
will do the test there and then in the hospital to
Mhm.
avoid future years of this kind of situation.
Mhm.
So now we'll be putting our link in the comment section for these first two stories. We will give some people time. If you have anything to add, if you saw this story before we came to talk about it, you can let us know what your initial first thought about it was.
Yeah.
How did you receive this story? If you watched our previous lives as well, what was your opinion still the same as it was as
Yeah.
it is now?
Especially for those that time it was a hot heated debate where people were saying that if you're in a marriage you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Now let me bring something from the first story. From the first story, he said that the man secretly went to do a DNA test. Remember when we were saying to the married men that you don't have to ask your wife, you can secretly go and do your own DNA test.
Yes.
So when the results came out now, and that's when he confronted the wife with the result, the report also said that the wife also went and did
her own.
No, she didn't do her own. She did. They did a second one, and the result came out the same. I don't think they were aware at the time of a maternal DNA.
No,
it was the friend of the wife's friend that made that suggestion, and then they went ahead and they did maternal DNA. So there's something called maternal DNA. Maternal DNA, we are certain whether the mother of the child is actually the biological mother of that child. You can even trace down to generations of grandmother and great grandmother from the maternal side of that child. So there's that's something I don't think many people know. Yeah, many people are aware of. So if we're not having anybody getting into the studio right now, we're probably going to
go straight to the other
story. I think we should.
So this morning, before we started the live show, we came across this post on Instagram from a veteran actor. Uge, so if you watched old Nollywood, you probably know who this man is. He's to be one of the elders and whatnot. Okay, let me go back and put the picture. So I will read what the post says. So he said, this DNA thing is not really an African thing. A child born to an African man is the African man's child. Our fathers held this belief and enjoyed peace of mind. This DNA stuff is tearing many homes apart and destroying many innocent children. In Things Fall Apart, that's the book, the Mother Earth rose against the conqueror for killing the child who called him father. Think, a child who calls an African man father is an African man's child, period. Commenters on Instagram, two of his colleagues responded and they said, Okon in Lagos said, things have changed. Globalization has had the better of us as a people. The world, including Africa, has evolved. In today's Africa, the values of chastity and fidelity with respect to the married woman has been eroded. Those were times where it was actually sacrilegious and very unimaginable for a woman to be married to a man as a non-virgin, let alone have extramarital affairs to the extent of bearing a child outside her marital home. DNA was not needed because infidelity had very grave deterring consequences. This gave room for more paternal certainty than in the case of now. Victoria Yama said, please, if you are that language, translate what that means. This is 2022. Mud houses are not as cooling as before. We didn't drink from clay pots. We are still suffering atrocities that our ancestors committed. DNA is very important, just like Mwanya Juju in traditional marriage. Indewo. Commenters on Instagram who are not actors and actresses also commented on this thing and said, I don't agree with this. If men demanded for DNA tests, let them be given, because no man deserves to raise another man's child in the name of his. DNA test is very important when you are doubting the real paternity of your child, and especially when you don't trust the woman. This man is stuck in the past, like those Talibans. So, this is what people had to say in the comment section. Chigo,
welcome. It means my uncle was someone significantly older than you. Oh, that's what that means. Thank you. Thank you for interpreting that for us.
Diverse audience.
Yeah, I think that's Igbo. Yeah,
because many new tribes.
DK and Igbo. Wow, thank you, Chigo.
Yeah, so if you also want to feel free to join in.
Feel free to join in.
Come and join this debate.
Click on the link. This debate has to be very interactive.
What do you think?
Our opinion cannot be the only opinion. Come and air your views and your opinion on this matter, because this is real life situation. What do you think about what the actor said? The veteran actor that created the post this morning. I don't know if he knew we're going to come and do this live show.
You even know, please send this link to you to come and watch.
Yeah, because
greetings, sir.
Because you know that you put out the link for this video on Sunday without knowing that this is going to be a hot topic.
Yes.
You know, and then this veteran actor came in.
I do agree with him saying that DNA was not an African thing, because obviously Africans are not the ones that came up with DNA testing.
Common sense.
So you cannot say 60 years ago DNA existed in Africa. No. And in those days too, there was no way of checking to say this is my child and this is not your child.
Exactly.
So it's whoever the woman brings to the man and says this is your child. The man will say, they will accept.
Because they used to say, now mama na no pikin.
And it's also true that it was sacrilegious for people to imagine that a woman in a relationship, talk more of a woman in marriage, will go and cheat on her husband. Like, you can't even think about it. So the men do not have any reason to doubt. They could be having children outside
everywhere and pin it on the woman.
And expecting the woman to take children as theirs. But they would never imagine that a woman will have the guts to do the same thing.
Step outside.
To step outside and pin a child on them. So it was never of like a necessity. And that whole segment of any man, any child that calls the father is the automatic child of the African. No, because in Nigeria, people call people daddy, mommy, daddy, uncle, auntie. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are biologically related,
or that they assume that that's their father, or you know, things like that. So that part did not make sense to me, you know. But I was saying that the man has an archaic way of thinking. He doesn't want to move on with the times.
But he's right that the DNA testing is causing a lot of atrocities in families.
But the atrocities have always been in families. DNA is just one of the many atrocities that are always in families.
Why DNA even cause atrocities?
Because you have to know the truth. There's a lot of things that people don't know that why DNA testing is important. I think many people focus on the investigative side of proving that
somebody is guilty
or there's no infidelity in a relationship, right? It's beyond that. I mean, DNA testing has helped to discover some genes that can predispose somebody genetically to you're at a risk of having cancer and all that stuff. So the testing for the human side is just to find out whether someone is the father or the mother of a child. Is just one tiny aspect. Crypto magic. We must not forget, in some cultures we have polyandry. Facts. For those who don't know what polyandry means, do you want to tell them?
They should go and Google it.
In fact, the female fertility is designed around many men involved in the fertility. Woo! Crypto magic. You are dosing us with some
you have to come and explain
common sense.
Click this link.
Click the link now. Let's hear your voice. Crypto magic.
Come on.
Let's hear your voice.
There was one more comment I forgot to add for this veteran guy's thing.
Yeah.
So this person is saying, lots of Africans really struggle with this DNA testing, Sha. Could he be right that DNA test was never an African thing? In the case of marriage, is a man having a child outside wedlock not the same thing as a woman having a child outside wedlock? If the African woman is or was supposed to accept her husband's child from another woman, why can't the African man do so when the tables have turned?
Ooh, this comment is shaking tables. Oh.
I'm just gonna leave the comments here for it to simmer in case people want to reread it.
What do you guys think of this statement? Pretty much say I will set my mic some other time. Okay. Okay. What do you think of this statement from this particular commenter? Could it be that why can't the men accept children that are not theirs?
Even if you go for the DNA test and then you find out that this child that you've known for maybe, for example, like Mohammed, 16 years is not yours. Why can't you accept this child? Because if Mohammed were to go and bring another child from outside and gave it to his first two wives to say, this is my child, they will really not have any option.
And then many of the men, most African men, they guilt trip their wife to accepting their own infidelity. Oh, but you call yourself a mother. Why can't you? This is my own child. This child, my blood runs through this child's vein. Even though I had this child outside wedlock, as a mother or a mother who's expecting you should take care of my child. Why can't you do this? You, the father, you now the husband. Why can't you accept a child that has been scientifically proven it's not your biological child, why can't you do the same? If you are demanding the same of your wife, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
you know, why can't they do it? Why is that? Why is it that some people, when it comes to male perspective, they will be applying logic. When it comes to women's perspective, they will be applying emotion.
Sacrilegious or whatever.
You
Why,
know,
why is it a sacrilege?
Maybe for children I give from some of the children I give from God. Why can't you forgive this woman? If the way the woman has forgiven you and said, okay, because even though you fathered this child out, you know, outside our marriage, I will forgive you and I will take care of this child just because the blood of this child, your child is my child. Your child is my child.
Things.
You, the men, why can't you accept this too? Why is it difficult to accept? I don't know why it's difficult to accept. Because some men accept.
Do you think it's gender bias?
Because gender bias.
Going back to Okon's statement where he said, you know, it's used to be sacrilegious for a woman to think to go outside the marriage and go and have children. So does it mean that now it's no longer sacrilegious, or people are just now kind of getting used to the fact that women too can eat something outside their marriage as the men can? So let's see what Egosa is saying.
Egosa is saying, yes, yes, I agree. The connotation and purpose of conducting a DNA test in African settings is often sexist and misogynistic. Facts.
Very, very, very true.
Yeah.
Very, very,
infidelity is poor people's business. Rich folks swing their wives. Woo!
Okay.
There are some rich people that they crypto magic. You gotta explain further for this. It's crypto magic. You have to explain further for this.
Why is it poor? But there's infidelity in rich people's homes too, and maybe poor people do also swing their wives.
Yeah,
I think
swinging wives.
One video where we even watch it sometime on YouTube, where they said there's a community somewhere in Africa, a church somewhere in Africa, where if friends go and visit, the men can entertain their friends with their wives, or something along those lines. So, but would that even be called infidelity if like everybody is like aware of what's going on?
That's true.
Or if it's just an open marriage?
Yeah.
Professor Dewale,
welcome. If I bring a child from outside the marital home, I have to accept it from my wife. Equality. That's what we're talking about.
That's
exactly.
That's
what Adewale is trying to say here, that what we're talking about, like, why can't, you know, if you are expecting the woman to accept your child that you gave birth to outside wedlock, if the woman brings it up, if the results come out that this child is not your child, I know some people say, hey, but the difference is that she like, well, but now she's not telling you now, okay, you are not the biological father of this child. Please accept to be the father figure for this child, just as you require that she should be the mother figure for a child that is not hers.
Biologically.
You know, I don't say, however, I won't be able to accept the child if I did not bring from outside marriage. So it's a tit for tat.
Yeah, so if I do my own, you can do your own. But if I not do my own, you cannot do your own. Okay. Why is what?
Another angle.
See, and now that we are now living in a society whereby, I'm talking of Nigerian society now, whereby you are great migration, we are seeing that women too have the leverage and are even sometimes smarter about this cheating and eating outside from a fruit
chopping outside
their normal orange juice. Maybe now they are eating
they pluck a lot of banana. You know,
maybe instead of plantain, now they are also eating banana. They look alike,
then they mix. They are not the same. They mix. They call it plantain banana. They mix it. When they go home, they go to plantain. When they are outside, they go to banana.
They eat banana.
Yeah,
but they are all sea monkeys.
They are all
monkeys. Monkeys with better game. That's true. Do you think that with all these DNA things going on now, that people should be having these DNA conversations in their homes? Like, people should not wait until maybe they want to, for example, leave Nigeria and relocate to Canada.
Yeah,
because they go and find out all these situations.
Because there's so many people now. It's immigration purpose that is making them now discover they probably married for many years and they never thought about it. I think we have some points here.
For that more points here. Maybe we'll talk about. Should we talk about the story of the judge or story of the judge? Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to the studio. I'm assuming people don't talk about DNA test, so we'll go straight to the other news. This post happened in 2021? Somebody else is talking.
blame American and Western embassies for the rampant DNA testing. It is a recent thing. In order for them to check dependent visa fraud, they created another issue. I think Cryptoman, they've been checking this thing from time immemorial, but I think it's social media that makes it blow.
They amplified it, eh?
And I will let you, we have evidence for that.
Yes.
That amplified it. I think they've always done this DNA testing to ascertain, and there are reasons why they request for this. And I'm glad that the embassies actually do this too. There's a reason why we kind of support the fact that
doesn't negate the fact that they are the ones to be partially blamed, because if not, Nigeria,
but
Nigeria will not just go
and
to the DNA test clinic and go and say, I want to go and check if this child.
But we also have to appreciate them for the fact that they are, they are bringing awareness.
Yes, they are raising awareness.
They are raising awareness for this topic.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see how another man handled paternity fraud.
Somebody else is chatting up. Okay, Crypto Magic. We'll see you. All right. So this next story is about a judge. Let's go.
A prominent High Court judge, right, in Delta State, Nigeria. Some of you must have seen this story from last year, but for those who haven't, this is it. A judge is from Delta High Court. His name is Anthony Okorodas. Has cried out after he allegedly discovered that 3 children he had with his ex-wife were not his biological offspring. I repeat, the 3 children he had with the ex-wife were not his biological offspring. Now, according to the judge in a statement, his former wife walked away from their marriage when the youngest child, now 17 years, was just 6. Take that in. He said he was first notified of the paternity fraud by an anonymous source, saying the repulsive act of the first wife prompted him to conduct DNA tests on all his children. The judge described the development as traumatic, saying he and his current wife had been wholly responsible for the well-being and education of the 3 children, 2 of whom are university undergraduates, since their mother, that's the ex-wife, walked away from the marriage 11 years ago.
Wow.
So it took 11 years. 11 years.
Wow.
The statement read in full: I have taken the decision to address the press in respect of certain traumatic developments that have arisen between me and my ex-wife. Look at it's now nearly 11 years since our separation and divorce. The press statement is important in order to prevent damaging speculations, half-truths, and outright lies from persons who may want to cash in on the tragedy that has befallen my home. Sometime during the coronavirus lockdown early last year, I received information from an anonymous source that indicated that the last of the 3 children from my previous marriage was in fact not my biological child. Due to COVID-19 restriction, at the time, I had to wait until August 2020 to carry out a DNA test. Now, the DNA test result, which came out in September 2020, confirmed that I was not the biological father of the child. So the 3rd child is not his. Consequently, I convened a joint meeting between my extended family on one side and the ex-wife's family on the other side, where I confronted her with the paternity fraud allegation. Although she initially strongly insisted that I was the biological father, she has since confessed to having the child with other men, having the child with other men during the course of our marriage. The repulsive act of my ex-wife prompted me to conduct DNA tests in respect of the 2 other children. A few days ago, the result came out. Sadly, none of them is my biological child. So the last one was when the result came out, it wasn't his child.
So
for the first 2 ones.
So the 3 children.
The 3 children are not his.
Wow.
Now, this abomination has caused excruciating mental trauma to me, my present wife, and all the innocent children involved. The judge said that following the development, his current wife had to agree to having DNA tests on the 4 children of our own marriage. So now the 4 children from his current marriage, right? He added, this is particularly so for AB. AB is the second wife, who has had to agree having the DNA tests on all the 4 children. Thankfully, the result confirmed each of them to be my biological child. It's important to state that Cecilia, the ex-wife, walked away from the marriage when the youngest child, now 17, was 6 years old. And since then, all of her children have lived with my wife, AB, his current wife, and I, and we have been wholly responsible for their well-being and education. Friends who are close to my family would readily attest to the fact that unless specifically informed, no one could tell that the children were not the biological children of my present wife. You know, AB and I, that's his current wife, would continue to support the children in any way we can. Indeed, even after the release of the first DNA test result, which proved that I was not the biological father of the last child, we have continued to pay for his education in a private boarding school. The two other children are university undergraduates. The first, a female, will be a graduate later this year. So I believe that's
already
graduated now. And the second will soon enter his fourth year of study. We pray for them to overcome the trauma and become responsible citizens of our country. You know? And then he finally said, for Felicia and her boyfriend or boyfriends, for Cecilia and her boyfriend or boyfriends, we leave them
to their conscience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let's see.
More things have been happening. So last month, the social media was awash with allegations that Adamunu, who are anyways, we leave this saying
this matter is not
concerned.
Let's see what the community.
Did anybody hear about this story last year?
Yeah,
that Georgie story was very touching. I think it came out February last year as well. This February, it's very, very hot for DNA
February
testing.
Is the month of awakening. It's the month of awakening.
Next year, February, I don't know that will come and do DNA testing.
Who knows? Well, yes, DNA was not an African thing in the past. In the same past, in my culture, brides were married as virgins. Thank you. In fact, it's during the wedding ceremony that the couple, you are taking this matter to another level today.
Why? We also want to know in future why the female virginity is important, but that will be for another session.
Graciousness, welcome.
We hope
Glad to see you here. We hope you click the like button, right? Graciousness is saying, please, the hospitals should be providing DNA information about the child at birth. However, this information should be provided via medical organization, even if it's a home birth. Yeah, but they have to pay for it too, right?
People complain that it's always very expensive, but see, if you want to know, sometimes
the trauma. In order for you to prevent the possible trauma, the truth is cheaper.
Sometimes the truth is expensive.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's cheaper. One DNA test not cheaper than paying school fees for many years.
Yes. Because that judge discovered after 11 years.
Just after 11 years of living the wife. The wife living. Remember, the first child, the last born is 17 years. Meaning that the first children are probably in their 20s.
Yeah.
Meaning that this man has been in, like, oh my goodness.
The woman, very traumatic. Oh my God.
If you do Oyibo, now 30%. We get stupid
parents.
Okay.
Now we put the link there. You people come into the studio. Today is Monday. Come and give those of common sense. You know.
Okay, maybe we'll go to the other ones.
So
some things are DNA, some good things about DNA.
So of course, people will say there are many disadvantages for this DNA testing and all that. But in life, there are advantages and disadvantages to any discovery. Now let's look from the objective lens of things, right? So according to this is a cancer research area, I think. Websites, I think they're probably based in the US. So some of the advantages, so like pros and cons, are like it gives you a sense of relief from uncertainty. So like those that want to verify the results, you know, there's a greater understanding of your cancer risk or health and cancer risk, and also information to help make informed medical and lifestyle decisions. So these are some of the advantages of doing the DNA testing. You know, opportunity also to help educate family members about their potential risk. However, there are some disadvantages, you know, from genetic testing, and it may include like if you decide testing could increase your stress and anxiety. I think what this means is that because you are in anticipation waiting for the result, you might be stressed out. Exactly. You know, result in some cases may return inconclusive and all that. And, you know, you might not be eligible if you don't fit certain criteria required for the testing. So I guess it's referring to lifestyle.
We will be putting the links of all these articles that we've read in the description box after the live video. So there's another one that we also came across.
Yeah. So this one is our own very own BBC from Nigeria. Yeah, BBC Pidgin, right? It says there are 5 things. So for people who think that DNA testing is just a new thing, it's not a new thing. So there are 5 things DNA testing fits reveal about the identity of a child and how much, you know, DNA test will cost in Nigeria. According to Dr. Ayodele Adeniyi, when he's the CEO of the paternity test Nigeria, you know, he says people no fit pay for the test because, you know, it's very, very expensive. But if money no, they like to check whether they are the father of their child or not. you can see now that there are several types. It was from here we learned that there are several types of DNA testing. So you have the paternity one to ascertain if the child is the biological child of the man, or maternity test. You also have the one for sibling test. You also have the one that can check whether it can focus on the lineage of a person. So if they have like quality genetic information dating back to like their different generations and all that.
So the DNA test is really, really
there are different types.
It's deeper than just finding out who your father is.
Yeah, so there are different types. You know, and another thing in the last bullet point, it says there that the DNA can reveal whether the person gets hereditary disease, like the cancer, like cancer, you know.
So if there's cancer in your family, your DNA test will kind of reveal that.
Yeah, for some of them, yeah. So, you know, according to the National Cancer Institute, some genetic tests can provide people with information about whether they have the hereditary cancer, and this will include different types of cancer. So like breast cancer, colon cancer, melanoma, sarcoma, you know, all well-known cancer-related mutations, you know, that DNA can check for. Like you have the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene mutation. Usually that's common among Caucasians.
So let's see what some people are saying.
Those are some of the benefits
of DNA test. That's way beyond just knowing who your father is.
Yeah.
Toby,
welcome, Ozazu Zen. Yes.
Rachel is saying yes. As for me, I know get them, so I come for a channel to
get common sense. You have common sense, so you do.
Please, you have common sense.
You do because after all, you said that husband should be doing.
Yes.
For me, I still, those of you, I know we had that debate, and some people say, no, I mean, as if I'm dating, if I'm my wife, I wouldn't ask her. I wouldn't do this. It's not about you or your wife.
It's beyond you. So you find a DNA test can also help you with
your own family,
your generational family history to some extent, because it looks like that BBC Pidgin article, which we will link later in the description box, was really talking about some advantages of what this DNA test can do for the individual beyond just knowing who your father or who your mother is. And also showing that there are different types of DNA tests. Paternal is just one side. There's also the sibling side, which at the beginning of the video, we said, you know, if you and your siblings are not getting along, it could be that
they're not your biological siblings. So you gotta check, you gotta be checking things, okay?
So we did further research, and we found out somewhat.
Now
we're reading a lot.
You know that we are ladies of research. Me, I love research, and I like objectivity a lot. And you know, we like to narrow it down to how it concerns us Africans. Now, this thing you're seeing here on your screen is from Premium Times. Okay, and the Premium Times, they interviewed a geneticist. I believe that's what it's called.
A geneticist.
Yeah. You know, according to the geneticist, from experience in DNA testing, most firstborns.
If you're a firstborn in Nigeria, please open your ear. This is for you.
If you are a firstborn, gather here for common sense.
For family day meeting.
According to Abiodun Salami, the senior geneticist with DNA Center for Paternity Testing in Lagos State of Nigeria, he said from experience in DNA testing, most firstborns are not fathered by the husbands at home because these ladies have prior relationship before getting married. Most times they continue with that relationship. They don't leave it after marriage.
It means that
like the thing that happened to Mohammed.
Women can have extramarital affairs
or pre-marital
affairs
in a relationship. As you can see on the screen, so it was a question and answer section, right? So they asked him, so there is maternity, you know, test too. And before that, you can see there appears to be renewed interest in DNA testing in Nigeria. Why do you think this is happening? And Salami responded, said, well, there are several reasons. You will never believe, according to the geneticist, he said the first reason is for immigration purpose. People are jackpine out of Nigeria.
So I think it was Crypto Magic that said, Crypto Magic, did you read this article?
Crypto Magic,
because he said that about immigration purposes.
Yeah, immigration purpose is number one reason why DNA testing is on the rise now. Because when people are beginning to travel abroad, and then for traveling abroad, you'll be required to carry out a DNA test on the kids who would be accompanying you. So you see, it's about the children. It's about the children.
Especially if you say you are the parents of the child.
Exactly. We'll be accompanying you, especially if you say you're the parent. Exactly. The second reason, as you see underlined in red, could be child trafficking. Okay? And so I'm saying, at the airport, if you are a woman and you are traveling with a child less than 6 months, you will be asked to go for a maternity test to confirm if you are the mother of the child. So protecting the child, like we always say, it's all
about the child. It's all about the
child.
It's about the individual who needs the test. It's beyond just, I want to know my mother.
The status of my relationship. Common sense. Now, the second question the interviewer asked, oh, there's maternity test too? Salami said, yes, we do maternity testing to ascertain the mother of a child. The third major reason is infidelity in marriage.
Those of you that always are championing
marriage.
Oh, how can a woman? How dare she?
That's the third reason. There are so many issues online. I mean, we have read and seen so many issues, and so basically, say cases of fathers raising children that don't belong to them. It's always been like that. Which is like kind of confirming what the veteran actor said.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's because of social media. That is why we're really talking about this whole DNA thing.
Yeah, and he says sincerely, but because of social media, people can now share what's happening, right? Now we go to the part 3 of the question. So what's the asking what was there? There's so many issues online. Yeah, I already read that. So that's why they do the testing and all that. So instead of you discovering that you're raising a child for more than 5 to 6 years, some people have kind of been in that kind of situation. So now the next point was that they asked how was the patronage, and he says that according to statistics, that on the average they used to do 100 DNA tests in a month. So now it's 400 cases. The statistics, obviously is mind-blowing and baffling. And most times the embassies, they refer clients to them to do this DNA testing. So I must do DNA test, or even if it's secretly. I mean, you should. You want to know? Yeah, why not? Toby is saying like cure generational causes. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Because the person that you think might be in your generation might not your grandpa.
You know how always saying that? Oh, people are following me from my generation. Oh, I'm being cursed. And check your DNA profile
to know whether
there's some medically related, issues that are happening.
And some people will come and say village people are always after me. It might be that you're not really from that village.
And village people are not
and you're accusing the wrong village
of
being after you.
Yeah. So my people, the three major reasons, according to the statistics by the geneticists in Nigeria, is saying that number 1 is immigration. That's why we're seeing a lot of paternity fraud cases shared online and all that.
And apart from immigration, it's also helping people. Like, you have to find out who your child. Imagine the whole trauma of not knowing.
Or those people that are trafficking children, they will just carry. You know how some people will go to the village and say, I go help train your pikin and all. Meanwhile, they are carrying your child for trafficking. And imagine now they're stopping those. They're stopping those things at the border because you have to
at the airway. Yeah, but
you have to.
Is saying in the village they know the true father of a child after the man died.
It's true.
It's now time for inheritance. Elder will reveal the Exactly. That's when you start seeing people from nowhere saying, I'm actually the firstborn. I'm the lost child of the man. It's very true. Real life. And then in Hollywood movies, it's usually when there's an accident
and they need blood.
Yeah, they will not come and say the blood has to be for the father and the mother. It's okay, the mother cannot do this thing, but the father also cannot do it because they don't
match. So the genotype, it doesn't match. So no blood transfusion now.
You will not come and discover how this is. But to avoid all this brouhaha, like we have been saying,
preventive measures.
Prevention is better than cure. And then also most of all this we said that we did, like they came literally rush this morning. So some of the things that we were saying in the past, they are just from our minds of saying
proactive thinking. We think proactively before we come on this platform to do any show.
So sometimes you have to remove yourself from situation, come outside the box and look at things objectively, and like look at the words verbatim.
Yeah. Come out of your EB, your emotional box, EBT, your emotional box thinking ideas, and step into the OB of things, which is objective thinking. Let the facts play a role in how you analyze issues. It is very important. We understand at first it's going to be emotional, but snap out of it.
Remember, it's not just only about you.
Exactly.
I think when people realize that it's not just only about me proving my innocence, because I think that's a heavy burden on the arguments in the Nigerian context. Like, the woman proving her innocence that either she stepped out of the marriage or she did not step out of the marriage.
Yeah, which is what I think.
So if you are able to look at it and say, this is for the good of my child. Yes, I want to find out if my wife cheated on me, or if that might be ulterior motives, but this is also for the good of my child. If people are able to look at it like that, I think it makes the argument easier, and you can see it from an objective point of view.
Yeah. Another thing that some people don't think about is that some men may deliberately know that they fathered the child before their marriage, but they would not tell the wife. They will be taking care of that child. They will not tell the woman. Maybe it's until when the man dies or the woman cannot give, cannot conceive.
Then they use that against her.
Then they will use that against her, and then indirectly, they find a way to go and bring that child and say, this is my child. This is but
after all, you cannot give me my own child. So
take care of this. Blackmailing the woman or coercive, force and all that stuff.
Yes.
That's all we have for you for this DNA palava today.
Another, before we even end again, another thing is that if the man also had a relationship before the marriage, and let's say he was two-timing his new wife, and the side chick has now said, I am pregnant for you, or the side chick or also current girlfriend at the time, by him doing the DNA test, we'll also ascertain if the child is also his.
That's true.
Therefore, he will not tell the wife, current wife, or say, I have a child outside wedlock. DNA test has proven that this child is my own. Are you willing to accept me like this as a man and still marry me? Or if the child, you find out that your side chick is pregnant for somebody that is not you, then you can say, okay, I wash my hands off of this. And you go into your marriage with clear conscience.
All things are passed away.
Because if you're going into marriage and you are aware that of a child that is potentially yours or whatever, and you're not relating that to your woman, then that's pretense.
Yeah, that's
the contract of marriage is already fraudulent because the woman was accepting you as just you.
As you without a father.
And offspring.
Not accepting a baby daddy, somebody with baby daddy status.
Yeah. Crypto magic is saying objective thinking could also be wear or ask of the records
for outside always. Well, record the break. I think he's referring to condoms. French, aka French letters. Condoms break, so it's not really like
anything can happen.
Anyways, we have come to the end of this live session.
People refuse to call me, but we'll take it like that.
We'll take it like that because we know we are speaking most of your mind.
Yeah, and I think people are agreeing with us. I need to see people that disagree. Please, share this video for people who disagree with us.
Yes,
we need people that disagree so that we can pick their brains and ask questions
and learn and learn some things and ask some questions. I think. Anyways, we're going straight to the next. What's graciousness saying? Graciousness is saying that I want blood donators or people who give transplants via DNA confirmed results.
I've not seen
that angle before. Yeah, I haven't really seen that angle.
You can give DNA via transplants.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
But anyways, we've come to the end of this
DNA test one now.
Yeah, we're going to the next live show. So hang in there.
We'll create
and until we see you next time, which is in the next show, may common sense
objective common sense.
Objective reasoning and make common sense
never depart from you.
Bye. See you soon.